I'm sure you're all familiar with the story of how Suzanne Collins was inspired to write The Hunger Games. Basically, she was flipping through channels on TV, seeing war footage on the news, and then reality shows, which inspired her to write a story about a televised reality show war game. But what about some of the other iconic YA dystopian books? Veronica Roth was taking a lot of psychology courses in college when she learned about exposure therapy as a treatment for phobias, which was the inspiration behind the Dauntless training tests in Divergent. Kira Cass denies that the selection was at all inspired by The Bachelor. I mean, this is a dystopian story about a group of girls who are competing to win the prince's hand in marriage on television. So honestly, I'm not sure how much I believe that. But Kira Cass says she was very interested in the stories of Cinderella and Esther from the Bible and found herself comparing both of these characters and the outcomes that their stories had. The inspiration for Delirium is actually pretty similar to that of The Hunger Games. The author was watching the news on TV and there was a story about a flu outbreak that was at risk of becoming a worldwide pandemic. And she was also keeping in mind a famous quote about the best stories either being about love or death. So that is where we get the idea of Delirium, which takes place in a society where love is deemed a worldwide pandemic. Stephanie Meyer already had the idea to write a book about two characters in one body, but then she went on a road trip driving through the desert, which is where she came up with the idea for The Host, which mainly takes place in the middle of the desert. The Maze Runner was inspired by The Lord of the Flies, which is probably where all the boys come from, The Shining, so maze, and also the author's general fear of mazes.